Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Ooh, I am so excited today. I am filming the first beauty video that I've filmed in a really long time. Also, I'm here in my office and I have two windows next to me on either side of me, here, over here. My lights are really bright and I feel like my neighbors can probably see in here and maybe are wondering what I'm doing. This is the first time I've ever had to deal with that, because normally I used to film either in a closed room with the windows drawn closed or in my apartment where I was on the third floor, nobody could see into the windows. So this is a new thing for me, so I'm kind of self-conscious. Whatever. Today's video is a makeup monthly, and that's a little bit different from me. This is similar to a beauty favorites or monthly favorites video. I'm just putting my own spin on it, basically. I'm not going to be talking about just favorites in this video. Basically what I want these makeup monthly, or really beauty monthly, I think I'm going to call it actually, beauty monthly. I want this to be kind of a mashup of a monthly favorites video, monthly fails video, project pan, and sort of a shop my stash type of a video. I think that that is what these beauty monthly videos are going to be. So I'm going to talk about all the makeup I've been using in the month, things that I'm trying to pan, things that I'm trying to finish. I will show you progress photos of things that I'm trying to pan. I don't have progress photos now because I'm just starting this now, but I'll show you things that I have panned, and next month I'll show you my progress photos. So yeah, let's just jump into the video. I don't want to explain too much. I don't really know. Okay, my nails are not painted, but I feel like it would be a waste of time. The first product I want to talk about is the So Jaded eyeshadow palette from ColourPop. It's so funny, whenever I hear people talk about this, they say Kathleen Light's So Jaded palette, like they just don't even credit ColourPop, it's just all Kathleen Light's, which is legit. I mean, she curated it, but it is by ColourPop. It's by both. It's annoying. Does this side work better? Yeah, this side works better. This totally clashes with everything. This eyeshadow palette I have been using since I got it. I got it the first launch. I could not miss it. I also purchased the That Girl Shays collaboration, which I was really excited for and am enjoying as well, but I wanted to give my full in-depth review on this. Not too in-depth, but my general review. First of all, I love the color story in this palette. I love all the colors she chose. I would like to have a shimmery white with a gold duochrome type of a thing. That would be really nice with all of these other sort of bronzy gold colors. More of an inner corner highlight that's really warm and gold. This isn't my ideal brow bone highlight, but it works. I love how there are these deep matte jewel tones. That's some of my favorite things to have in an eyeshadow palette, are really deep, vibrant, jewel toned shades. I feel like that makes you able to, at least me, it makes me able to really get a variety of looks, because just having that blue to create depth of a blue look and then a green for a green look, etc. Now I will say these are not the best matte eyeshadows that I've ever had, especially Jade. I was so excited for that color, and while I am wearing a bunch of these shadows on my eyes today, by the way, I was so excited for this Jade shade, and it does show up true to its color. However, for some reason, it's applying very, very patchy to me. Every time I try to use this shade, it's turning out patchy, and it's frustrating. And I feel like it looks okay today, but I also feel like if I look closely at my eyeshadow, I can see that it's patchy and it just takes a little bit more work and stuff. So I'm not sure what that is. I don't always have that issue with ColourPop mattes, but with that shade I do, and I still love that shade. I feel like it works best on the lower lash line. I will say that. It works beautifully on the lower lash line because it does carry a good punch of that green shade. It just, because of the particular color, it just tends to be a little bit patchy. My most used shade so far, and the one I'm predicting I'm gonna hit pan on first, is Geodude. This sort of neutral, I almost want to call this a mustard yellow brown. It does kind of look like a brown, but to me it's much more of a mustard yellow, a very, very muted mustard yellow. And then you have Citrine, which is a little bit of a lighter yellow, almost like a pastel mustard, if that makes sense. And you mix the two together, you can get a really pretty mustard color. I love the yellows and greens in this palette. Obviously, that's what I'm wearing today. So besides the greens and yellows, I love the reds, the oranges. You can really get a lot of different wearable, colorful looks from this palette. If you don't like color, obviously, I would say probably this isn't for you, because you can get a few neutral looks too, for sure, but it's not a neutral palette. It's a colorful palette, but it's a really well done colorful palette. There are two pressed glitters in here, which I use on occasion, and they're really fun to have. I don't love this opal shade. I just don't wear blue looks that often, and if I do, I'm usually mixing it with another color like a yellow or a green or something, or just doing it on my lower lash. And it's very rare that I do like a full blue eye and then I want to have like blue glitter on that. It's just rare. It's just not my thing. But, you know, I do on occasion and I will use that glitter. But the topaz, oh my gosh, that's the prettiest, perfect shade for fall, and it goes with so many of these shades. It goes with the yellows and the greens and the browns, and you know, whatever you want it to go with, it'll go with. But I just really love it. There is Diamond, which is the Super Shock shadow. I don't even know if I've used this at all. I know I've swatched it, but this again isn't my shade, is not the type of shade I'm drawn to. But it is very pretty for like an inner corner highlight. It's a nice Super Shock shadow. Like, not every single shadow in here is what I would put in here if I created this palette, but it's fun to have and it's fun to use, and I'm really enjoying this palette. So that is the ColourPop and Kathleen Lights So Jaded eyeshadow palette. The other two eyeshadow palettes I want to quickly talk about are, again, not new, but the Soft Glam by Anastasia Beverly Hills. I have been really loving this. I don't know how close I am to hitting pan on any of these shadows, but honestly I love this palette more than the Modern Renaissance. This is probably my favorite palette by Anastasia Beverly Hills. I think to reach for this palette the most of any of her palettes. I love the range of shadows, I love the tones, and I love the shimmer shades. I think that is what makes it stand out from the Modern Renaissance for me personally. The shimmer shades are so much, I don't want to say better, like all Anastasia shimmers are good quality, but the shades are more versatile for my skin tone and for creating a variety of different looks. That's why I love this palette. So I've been using this quite a lot. The shade Tempera is the perfect brow bone highlight when I want a little bit of a shimmer, like a little teeny tiny bit of a shimmer. It's not shimmery, but it's like a satin, I would say. So when I want that, Tempera is the perfect shade for that. It has everything. It has the warm browns, but then it has the mauve matte as well. It has a black. It has this mulberry shade where you can just really take that any direction you want. You can go red, orange, brown, neutral, purple. Like, it's a really good shade and super pigmented. Anyways, I love this palette. I have been loving it a lot. The last eyeshadow palette I want to talk about is the Lorac Pro Mega Pro Original. This one came out like 5 or 6 years ago. It's getting old. I love this palette so much. I've been reaching for it a lot lately. I do have all of the other Mega Pros as well. This one I think is my favorite, but really I just wanted to like try to pan it. Not the whole palette necessarily, but just a few shades. As you can see, I have successfully panned the shade Fawn. I am getting very close on the shade Cream. I also am getting sort of close on Espresso. I use that one in my brows. Wisteria is another one that I really... All of these matte shades are like absolutely beautiful. They're just stunning. They're perfect for fall because you have your sort of gray tone purples, and then you have more of your pink, sort of vibrant, juicy pink colors. I just have a lot of fun with all of these shades. And then the shimmer shades. Lorac matte shades are my #1 favorite matte eyeshadow formula in the world. Lorac shimmer shades are not my favorite shimmer formula. I prefer Anastasia Beverly Hills. Even ColourPop is a little bit better, but the shimmers are good. They just don't quite have that punch that a lot of other shimmers have. They're still nice though, for sure. And I am wearing Opal on my inner corner today and Espresso in my brows. I think that's all I'm wearing from this palette today. And I did check the Lorac website and it is still available. So if you want to purchase this, it is available. I have two blushes that I want to talk about. One is from ColourPop and it is in the shade called Weirdo. As you can see, I am very, well, I don't know if you can see, but I can see, I think I'm really close to hitting pan on this one. I can see the ridges. I can see a really big indentation. This is just the perfect neutral mauve blush. It has a little bit of that rusty red shade that I've been really loving for fall. Similar to the one I'm going to talk about in a second, but this one is a little bit more muted. So this one is like, I would say like a reddish mauve, but a muted reddish mauve. And the ColourPop blushes are fantastic because they're pigmented, they last all day, and you can build them up too. So if you want more of a lighter wash of color, you can do that. They are completely matte. Yeah, I mean, as you can see, this one is also a removable pan. So I keep mine in my little thing here with my other two powders that I use every single day that I've panned. This is the ColourPop pressed powder, and this is what is this? I don't even know. I don't know what this is. It's a yellow under eye setting powder. Okay, moving on. The next blush is by Milani. This is the Milani Rose Powder Blush in the shade American Beauty Rose 09. This is a more vibrant version of that rusty red color that I was talking about that I've been loving for fall. This does have a little bit of shimmer in it, just a little bit of like a reflectivity. I don't think it looks shimmery on the skin, but I just can see it in the pan that it has a little bit of that reflect in it, which I think just makes it, you know, a little bit more glowy and stuff, but it's not a shimmery blush. It certainly doesn't look like a shimmery blush. I don't love shimmery blushes usually. This one is awesome, and I've been working on getting the imprint down a little bit, so I'm hoping to use this one throughout this coming month and see if I can make some progress on that as well. But those are the blushes I've been using. For face powders, I really want to talk about the Becca Hydra Mist Set and Refresh Powder. This one came out a while ago and everybody was talking about it when it came out because this is the powder that was 50% water. I believe that was the claim, and I hear nothing about it anymore. Nobody talks about this powder anymore. Could be because after I had it for maybe like 6 months or so, that wet feeling that you get when you first put it on, it completely goes away. So I don't know if the powder dries up. I don't know what it is exactly, but that wet feeling that you get when you first put it on, it's gone now. I don't get that feeling. It's still a good powder though, and I still use it. I want to use it up, but I did end up taking the top off because there was no point in trying to keep it cool because it had already like dried up. Does that make sense? So I don't know. Wow. That's really powdery. I don't feel like it was a fail necessarily because of that, but I do, it makes me wonder, was there really anything to that cool feeling or was it just a gimmick? I don't know. This necklace is driving me nuts. I'm gonna take it off. I try to wear necklaces and then I feel like I'm just getting strangled. Another face powder, I think I'm going to try to finish this one up. This is the Too Faced Primed and Poreless Pressed Powder. I have had this forever again, and you can tell I have a good amount of pan in here. This is so beautiful because it doesn't look like powder on the face at all, and it doesn't feel like powder on the face. Like this loose one, it doesn't really look like powder, but I do feel it, especially when I pack it on like under the eyes and stuff. I kind of can feel it, you know, but this one doesn't feel like you have powder on. It's just a really, really good powder, okay? Part of me doesn't want to finish it up because it's so good, but then part of me is like, well, if it's so good, why wouldn't you want to use it? But then I'm like, if I use it, then I'm just going to have to buy another one, so should I just not? Should I just save it? Like, you know what I mean? I don't know, but I do love this powder. So this one is exciting. This is a primer. This is the Becca First Light Priming Filter Instant Complexion Refresh. I love this primer, and this is actually empty. Today was my last use. I was just like pumping and pumping and pumping to get the last of this product out, so I've actually finished it today, so that is super exciting. Oh, I forgot to say that this video is also going to be a little bit of an empties video too, because anything I've finished I'm going to talk about it in my beauty monthlies. From now on, I'm not going to do dedicated empties videos, I don't think, because I just don't want to keep products anymore. But I still have to keep them if I'm doing this. I don't know. So this primer, I do want to consider repurchasing this. I already have a list going on Sephora for the VIB sale, which I'm not a Rouge, so I can't shop yet, but this weekend I'll be able to shop because I am still a VIB. And I don't know, I might repurchase. I don't think I'm going to repurchase this, no, because I have so many other primers that I want to get through, but I am definitely going to remember that I love this one and keep it on the list to definitely consider repurchasing in the future. Alright, let's talk about foundations real quick. Today I am wearing the Maybelline Dream Satin Liquid Foundation. It says it's a hydrating serum foundation. I have a good amount done on this and I'm hoping to just kind of finish it off, I don't know, relatively soon because I don't hate it. I feel like the shade match is pretty good for me. It's a little bit dark, but I can work with that. The shade I have is Honey Beige. I feel like the coverage of this foundation is, I would say, medium. What I like about it so far is the feeling of my skin. This isn't a full review of this because I'm still deciding. I have so many foundations and I'm trying to really use them all and just not let them go to waste, whatever. So I'm trying to use this one. Hopefully I will make some more progress this month. The next one is the Lorac Sheer Perfection liquid foundation. I purchased this one at Kohl's on clearance and it was like 75% off or something. I'm guessing because the shades don't sell very well and they were maybe getting old and they had to turn over, because this is still available for full price on the Lorac website and on the Ulta website. Thankfully, because I love this foundation. This is like probably my new holy grail, especially in the summer. The shade I have is Golden Tan and this is not my fall shade, so, or winter shade, you know. I'm considering purchasing another one soon in a lighter shade just to have a shade for the winter, but this is a super dewy, super light feeling foundation, but it looks so beautiful. And even though it's called a sheer foundation, I feel like it has really good coverage. I don't know if I would say it's like full coverage, but it's definitely in the decent, medium, solid coverage range. But the finish, I think, is what I love the most about it, because it just looks so dewy and natural, not like overly greasy. It doesn't sit annoyingly on the skin like a lot of dewy things do. Next, bronzer. I have been using my Cargo bronzer. This was one of those random purchases at Kohl's that I just could not resist. I have no idea why I bought it, but I'm so glad I did. It is the biggest bronzer of life. Pretty much the only bronzer I've been using this month. Every time I try to switch it out or try something new, I don't love it. And so this is the one, and I do have a good, beautiful little spot of pan on there, and still like so much more to go. Like this is the biggest product that I've ever hit pan on, I think, because usually when you hit pan, it's like you are at least 50% of the way through the product, but not with this one. I'm probably like 10% through this product, so this is a super awesome bronzer. I love it. It is just called the Big Bronzer, Big Beezy. I don't think there's shades, I don't know, but I love this shade. I don't use this for contouring, I just use this for the top of my forehead and then usually like right around here to kind of bronze it up. It does have a good amount of shimmer in it, not too aggressive, but just enough that it lends a very pretty glow, and I love it. I love the color. So that is that bronzer. That's the bronzer that I have been loving for a long time. The highlighter that I've been loving, now I'm not even wearing this today. Oops. I've been having some like relationship issues with highlighters lately. I think that for some reason got used to having a really heavy hand with highlighters, and then I end up not liking the way that it looks, and so I kind of have been avoiding them. The last week or so I have been dipping back into highlighter, and I've been using this one. This is by ColourPop. It's this shade called Touche. This is one that I've been hoping to hit pan on for a long time. It's like a duochrome highlighter, so it's got like a golden shade and also like a pink shade, and it's just really pretty on my skin tone. I absolutely love it. And what I've been doing is just taking like a fluffy highlighter brush and just dabbing it on like just a little bit like right here and a little bit like up here. I'm not going crazy. I'm not like going like this and like with a, you know, a brush full of highlighter. That's when I feel like it gets overdone for me, and it just looks like I'm trying too hard. You know, it's not actually highlighting, it's just like there. I don't know. That's my highlighter journey so far. So my NYX Gotcha Covered Concealer is just endless. I have had this for years and years and years. The number one way that I use this currently is under my eyebrows to clean up my brow line and also to highlight my brow bone. So I'll take, you know, a concealer brush like this one here that, ew, has hair on it. I'll just take a concealer brush like this one and use it to kind of line my, like I said, my brow line after I filled in my brows, to kind of clean up that line and make it really sharp and clean, and also highlight my brow bone. I feel like when my brow bones are highlighted, my eyes look better, my whole face looks better, my eyebrows look more lifted, everything's better. So I always do that. I set it with a powder, usually a powder from here, or like the Tempera one that I was talking about from the Anastasia palette, just a really lighter than my skin tone shade, just to, again, highlight the brow bone. But what I love about this concealer is it's super full coverage. It's full coverage, and it's very, very tacky and dewy. I have tried, actually quite recently, using it like under the eyes just to see. It was yesterday, because I squeezed way too much out of my hand. So I did my eyes, I used it as my eyeshadow primer, and I also used it under my eyes, just trying to use up the product that I had accidentally squeezed out. This doesn't work for me as an eyeshadow primer because it's too sticky. It's too tacky. It causes the eyeshadows to almost like look wet, like especially if you have a matte. It just didn't work. It worked a little bit better under the eyes, but it's not my favorite under the eyes. I still will just only use it for the brow bone, and I think that's going to make it last a really long time. It's also really thick, so like a teeny tiny little bit goes a long ways. If you're looking for a nice dewy, tacky, thick affordable concealer. I highly recommend this one. Other concealers, I recently just purchased these two. These are the Too Faced Born This Way concealers, but they're not the current Born This Way concealer. I don't know why Too Faced did this. I don't know why they couldn't just give it a different name, call it like Born That Way or something. Like, this to me is the original Born This Way concealer. These are amazing, and I like the other one as well. I have it, I'm using it. Maybe I'll include that in next month if you guys want to hear my full thoughts on that. But the original Born This Way concealer it's unmatched. I love it. I love it because it's thin, but it's hydrating. And I don't have a lot of concealers like that I can put under my eyes that don't dry down or change color or like oxidize. Like, a lot of my concealers get a lot darker and like orange under my eyes, and I hate that. These concealers don't do that. I have two because I got these at TJ Maxx, and I think they changed their color name since I last purchased the concealer many years ago. So the shades I have now are medium and medium tan, and they seem to be working well, but I'm just so glad that I found this at TJ Maxx because I love them, and I really hope they're not discontinuing them, although I'm assuming that they are since they were at TJ Maxx, but whatever. I have a full review that I did when the original Born This Way concealers first came out. I remember the shirt I was wearing. I remember like that whole video because I was so excited. That was back when Too Faced was like my #1, you know, but I loved those concealers and I still do. Anyways, alright, let's move on to mascara. So I have two mascaras to talk about. One is the ColourPop BFF Volumizing Mascara. I actually really like this. Now, I have to say that I've had this for, I want to say I've had this for maybe a year, possibly more. I just started to love it. So I don't know if it's because it had to dry out a little bit. Like, I know I used it when I first got it a couple times, not a ton, and now I've been reaching for it more. And you can see the wand is like, it looks just like the Too Faced Better Than Sex mascara wand. Doesn't perform like that mascara at all, but I do love the wand. I love that shape because I feel like it really fans out the lashes and coats the individual lashes without causing it to get clumpy. I did think that the Too Faced Better Than Sex mascara gets a little bit clumpy sometimes, which sometimes it's okay because it's a very thickening mascara and it works with that one, but this one, I don't know if it's the brush or what it is, but I really have been loving it. I feel like it makes my lashes look longer and actually more separated. So I would say it's not necessarily a thickening mascara. It doesn't make each individual lash necessarily look thicker, but it like separates them, makes it look like they're longer. It makes it look like you're wearing fake lashes. That's how I feel. I feel like I look like I'm wearing fake lashes when I have this on, and I'm not ever wearing fake lashes because I just don't have the time anymore. I have the shade Black on Black, but I do also have a purple one and a yellow one in this that I enjoy. I really want to get the dark red one that they have. Do they have a dark blue? Because if they do, I need that too. Anyways, I love this one. The other one I've been loving is from Benefit. This is the Bad Gal Bang Mascara, and I am pretty sure that this one is empty. I think I have to retire this because I've been using it, and now it's not doing what it used to do. It's barely even showing up on my lashes. So I think it's safe to say that this one has to be retired, but I really love this. I received this free through Influencer, and it's just fantastic. It's totally opposite from the ColourPop one. It's the skinniest wand ever, and it's a very like supple, like, see that? And it's a very wet formula. It's a very thick formula, but because of that, you can really work with it. You can really build it up. You can really get a banging, impressive eyelash look going on, and I really do enjoy this one. Ooh, eyebrows. I wanted to show you guys my Anastasia Dip Brow Pomade because I have a teeny tiny little bit of pan in there, and it moves around every time I use this product because it's like this super creamy product. So, but you know what? It counts. There's pan, I'm proud of it, and it's just going to keep getting bigger because I use this stuff every single day. I already have my eye on one of the holiday kits that has one of these with like a brush and something else in it. I also use Anastasia's brush every single day, and mine's getting a little bit grimy, so I think I might need a new one. But the shade I have here is Ash Brown. That's the downside to the holiday set, is that Ash Brown is not one of the options. Why not? I have no idea. Why not just put them all in there, Anastasia? What are you doing? Are you trying to tell us that like some of us like I just what are you trying to say? Anyways, I don't know. I don't know why she wouldn't. If she's gonna do a holiday kit with some of the colors, why not just have ones with all of the colors? You know? Ooh, my Soap & Glory Volume Boost Archery Brow Gel. This is a tinted brow gel. It's also a fiber brow gel, apparently. It has fibers in it, so that's great. The color I have is Mocha Up Your Mind. I don't know why that made me laugh, because I thought I was going to say Mocha Up Your something else. So this has a little, you know, eyebrow shaped wand, and there are some fibers on there that you can see. I just like this for darkening up my brows, especially because I do my brows first. Like I fill them in with the pomade first, and then I go in with foundation and everything else. Sometimes I will get a little bit of foundation on my brows, or concealer or whatever, powder, eyeshadow, you know, and then I'll go in with this just to kind of color over that, if that makes sense. So that's what I do with this one. I have an eyeliner that I have been loving, and I'm kind of hoping I can hit pan on this. I mean, I don't know. This is the Cream Gel Color by ColourPop in the shade Fast Lane. So it's this really pretty deep teal blue shade that I adore so much for the fall time. It's just something about it just screams fall to me. I have been putting this on my waterline a lot lately. Anytime I wear any color similar to this, like today I have it on my waterline, even though I'm not wearing blue, I'm wearing green and yellow. I think it still works. I love it. It's just such a pretty different shade, but it's not too, it doesn't take over the look. It just adds a nice little pop of blue. So a nice little interest. I think the color works with my skin tone really, really well. Anyways, I love this. Again, I want to get more of these. ColourPop needs to come out with a dark green one. I know they have some burgundies, but like a army green ColourPop, that would be very, very handy. I would greatly appreciate that. Thank you very much. Oh, the sun's shining on me. Is that annoying? I hope that's not annoying. I mean, I think it's pretty. Okay, for lips, I have two lip liners. The first one is by Milani, and it is their Color Statement Lip Liner in the shade Spice. This is an OG. As you can see, it is quite small, and I just use this all the time. This is a go-to, especially in fall, but really anytime. I've worn this just on its own with nothing. I've worn this just with lip gloss on top. Pretty much any like brown-ish shade, mauve-ish shade this works with. But it's just a really good go-to. One I've particularly been loving with that lip liner is the ColourPop Ultra Matte Liquid Lipstick in the shade Take a Pixie. This is another really beautiful, everyday wearable sort of a brown, I guess. I don't really know how else to describe it, but I really have been loving it. This is from their holiday collection like a couple years ago, but I think it's still available. So yeah, this is one I've been using a lot. I am hoping to use up some of my ColourPop liquid lipsticks. I have so many, and they don't last that long. Sometimes some of them I've noticed I've been using and they just aren't the same as they once were, you know what I mean? So I want to make a point to really use those up. Not all of them, obviously, but I want to try to use some of them on. What I have on my lips today is a combination of the Wet n Wild lip liner, and I love these lip liners. Love, love, love these lip liners so much. This is in the shade Gone Burgundy. It's a really, really beautiful deep burgundy shade. Stunning. Like a deep mauve, I would say. Actually, I wouldn't say burgundy. I would say it's like a deep, deep mauve. And then I've been wearing it with the lip gloss by Anastasia Beverly Hills in the shade Fudge. This is another one that I've had for a while, and I think a subscriber recommended me to buy this. I wouldn't call this like a brown though, even though it's called Fudge. To me, it's more of like a mauve-y brown. Like it's a brown, but it's like a chocolate cherry kind of a thing, you know? It goes really well with the Gone Burgundy lip liner that I have on. I think it makes this really pretty like chocolatey, mauve-y, fall delicious combination. So that's what I have on today, but I have really been enjoying those. Alright guys, that is it for this video. I did want to take a quick second to say thank you so much for watching. I really do appreciate you guys. I'm hoping to make this a monthly series, like I said, so check back at the beginning of next month. I also am hoping to do more beauty videos again. I know that that is kind of how I got my start on this channel. I also know that I don't want to do exclusively beauty videos. I don't want to exclusively only talk about makeup on my channel. I want to talk about other things. I want to share other things. And I just want a little bit more creative freedom. So I appreciate those of you who are sticking around for that. It's a little bit of a transition here on the channel, I know. I haven't figured everything out yet. I'm just kind of in this process of figuring things out at this moment. So things are not polished, things are not perfect, but we're getting there, and I'm feeling really good about the progress and the changes that I'm making. So again, thank you for sticking around, and thanks for your support. For those of you that are continuing to support me through my vlogs and my other random weird videos that I'm posting, I really appreciate it. It means the world to me. I have been struggling with some stuff lately, just kind of figuring out my place, I guess you could say. So your support means the world. That's all I'm going to say about that. And thank you so much for watching, guys. I really do appreciate you, and I will talk to you again very soon. Bye.